Greetings to all. Myself Mohanavalli, working as an assistant professor in Department of Biomedical Engineering in Hirooru Sengudar Engineering College. I am going to handle digital image processing for final years. So before we are going to enter into the topic, first we have to know about what is meant by digital image processing. So in all over the world, all the things happened in our real life are digitized only, correct? So same for processing the images. So image processing means whatever the image acquire in the real time has to be processed. Whether it is blur means we have to restore the images from that blur. If some of the noises added means we have to remove that noises using some of the filters. So these are the processing happened in the images, correct? So whatever images we acquired is by using only a sensors. So sensors, which is nothing but one of your devices, okay? So when you are acquiring an images using sensors, the image is in form of an analog form, but when you have to display it means you have to convert it into a digitized. So for converting the analog signal to digital, you have to use the analog to digital converter, because for example our computer, so our computer only accepts only know the binary languages like ones and zeros, okay? So same for here also. When the image is produced in analog form, when you are going to display it means it is not possible to display it, okay? Because computer only know about the binary language, so you have to convert into a digital one. In this video we are going to see about the steps in digital image processing. So already we know, first we have to know about what is image processing, and then what are the steps involved in the digital image processing. So an image may be defined as a two-dimensional function f of x comma y, okay? So normally an image is in the form of two-dimensional only, 2D form only, which is nothing but it is in a form of a matrix only, okay? In that x and y are spatial coordinates, where x and y are spatial coordinates, which is nothing but it gives the information about the location of that particular point in an image, and the amplitude of f at any pair of coordinates x and y is called the intensity or gray level of the image at that point. So at every location of that images you can able to get the amplitude value, which is nothing but the intensity or gray level of the images at that particular point, okay? So normally you are going to represent an image in the form of 2D only, which is nothing but f of x comma y, okay? So in that, at every point in the images you can able to access the amplitude of that images, which is called as the intensity or gray level of the images. When x comma y and the intensity value of f all are finite discrete quantities, we call the image a digital image. So as I already said, if the image is in the form of discrete values means it is called as a digital image, correct? So here the location x comma y, which is nothing but spatial coordinates, and amplitude all are in the digital quantities and finite means it is called as a digital image. So the field of digital image processing refers to processing the digital images by means of a digital computer. So for processing the images we are going to use a digital computer. So a digital image is composed of a finite number of elements, each of which has a particular location and value. So as I already said, a digital image means first we have to, so in every image there is a infinite number of points are there, correct? So at every point it consists of one amplitude value. So a finite number of elements are present in an images. So these elements are called as the picture elements, image elements, pixels and pixels. So that elements present in the images is called as the pixels or picture elements or image elements or pixels, okay? Normally we called it as an pixel only, okay? So we already said there is an amplitude at every point of the images, correct? So at every point of the images the amplitude value is called as a pixel value. So the pixel is the term used to denote the elements of a digital image. So normally we are using only a pixel as a term. Okay, so an image is a 2D function, okay, which consists of a x and y spatial coordinates and the intensity values, which is nothing but a pixel at every point of an images. Why we are going for pixel means, because based upon the pixel range only we can able to determine the quality of the images. Okay, for example, if you are acquiring any of the images using your camera, okay, so when you are after saving the camera, when you are going to see the details of that images means, so the quality of the, which is nothing but the resolution, you can able to note the resolution of the images, because the resolution is an important parameter for the quality of the image. Okay, so the resolution, which is nothing but number of pixel value is high. Okay, so for example, consider 2 cross 2 matrix, okay, which is nothing but it consists of 4 values. Okay, so the same for if you are going having an images which have a 4 elements, 4 pixel values. Okay, another image having an 8 pixel values. Okay, so which one has a better pixel resolution? Because 4 has a pixel value and another image has a 8 pixel value, correct? But for 8 pixel value only have a better quality image compared to the 4 pixel value. So when the pixel values, number of elements in an image is increased and the resolution also increased. If resolution is increased, the quality of the image is also increased. So as I already said, okay, in let's say there is an one image, okay, just it's a square. Okay, consider it as an image. Okay, it consists of 4 pixel values, which is determined in the right side. Okay, which is given in the right side, 4 boxes, correct? These 4 boxes represent the 4 pixel values. Okay, if you are going to access the first pixel value means, then the spatial coordinates of that pixel value is f of 1 comma 1. Okay, as like matrix. Okay, when you are accessing the first element means you are considering it as a 1 comma 1, and second element means 1 comma 2, like that. Okay, same it is for an image also. So the first pixel element, okay, which is nothing but 1 comma 1, and second box, okay, second square box in the first row is called as a 1 comma 2 spatial coordinates, and second row first column is called as a 2 comma 1. F of 2 comma 1 means at that particular location you can able to get the pixel value, and 2 comma 2, okay, second row second column, the spatial coordinates of that boxes, which is nothing but 2 comma 2. Okay, so at every location you can able to get a pixel value of that locations. So if pixel value is increased, resolution increased, and quality of the image also increased. So there are 3 level processes. Okay, first one is low level process. So low level process means here the input and output are images only. Okay, so primitive operation in low level processes, it consists of only a primitive operation such as image processing to reduce noise, contrast enhancement, and image sharpening. These are the operations performed in the low level processes. Next, mid-level processes. Here also inputs are images only, outputs are attributes extracted from these images. Okay, so when you are going to give an input as an image, but the output may be an attributes from that images such as edges, contours, identity of individual objects. Okay, in that image you can able to identify any of the object means it is an output of that image. Okay, task. What are the task means? Segmentation. Normally in our biomedical field, segmentation is a main important parameter, because when you are taking a CT image, okay, if there is any cancer cells present in the CT is identified means, using segmentation technique we can able to segment that particular cancer region from the CT image or brain image. Okay, any other images we can able to remove that particular region from that images. Okay, which is able to detect how much the cancer cell is spreaded. Okay, like that we can able to analyze many of the parameters. Okay, segmentation is one of the main techniques used for segmenting the cancers from the normal images. Okay, so segmentation means what it is means, segment, from name itself we can understand, it partition image into the regions or objects. Okay, as a region or as a object, it just partition it. Okay, Next, description of those project to reduce them to a form suitable for computer processing. Okay, we have to give the description of that process. Okay, next, classification of objects. Okay, for example, consider any one of the industry. It is manufacturing the some of the ICs. Okay, so by IC, which is nothing but integrated circuit chip. Okay, like a chip. Okay, so you have to classify the detected, which is nothing but you have to separate the working chip and the default, okay, not working chip. Okay, so based upon that pins activity you can able to classify it. So classification is also import of the task, which is comes under the mid-level processes. And third one is high level processes. So high level processes mainly used for the image analysis and computer vision. Next, steps involved in digital image processing. Okay, so first we have to involve what are the important steps in image processing. Okay, whatever projects or whatever inventions happened in our world means there is some of a problem statement, right? So based upon that problem statement only we can able to invert more things. Okay, so same here also. So there is a problem domain. First you have to analyze what is the problem in that field. Okay, so first is a problem domain. Okay, next one is image acquisition. So we already know in digital steps involved in the image processing means first you have to have a input image, correct? So in image acquisition you have to acquire the images using some of these sensors or devices. Okay, and the second one is image filtering and enhancement. So after acquired the images, if there is any filter, okay, if there is any noises added to the image means we have to filter it and enhance the details. So enhancement is mainly used to give the detailed information of an images. So what of the image informations hide in that images we have to given out. Okay, we have to highlight that to get the more information of the images. So image enhancement is to explain the more information of the images. Next one is image restoration. If image is affected by any noise means we have to restore it from that noise image. Okay, next, color image processing. So there are two types of images are in one is a black and white image, another one is color image. Color image means that it consists of a RGB components. R means red, G means green, and B means blue. So RGB components, RGB images can also be processed in this. Next, wavelet and other image transforms. So wavelet in signal processing and image processing, wavelets are main one of the important processing toolbox also present. Okay, which means it can give both the information of the image and signals in terms of both time and frequency. Okay, for compression purpose also we can able to get the wavelet also. Next, compression and watermarking. If the storage of the one image is of 5 MB means, if you are taking many images means there will be spaces occupied more. Okay, you have to compress it, otherwise you have to send that image to your friends or any doctors like that. Okay, for many applications you have to send the images from your data to other place means you have to compress it and extend, because if size of the file is high means the transmission time is also high. Next, morphological processing. So if you have some images but you have to rotate it or translate it like that, you have to change that position like that means you have using the morphological processing. So morphology, which is nothing but you are going to change the characteristics of that images, which is nothing but a morphological processing. And next is segmentation. So as I already said, segment is one of the main important technique in image processing. After doing all these steps we are going into a segmentation. For segmenting that particular image, whatever image we have to access, we have to separate that particular region from the images for processing the more steps. Next, future is extraction. After segmenting the particular region from the images, we can able to extract the features, which is nothing but we are going to gain more detail of that particular segmentation. Next, last one is image pattern classification. Then we have to classify it whether it is normal or abnormal. Just consider any one of the disease condition. You have some of the images taken, okay, for example in COVID-19, okay, by taking the CT or X-ray we can able to get an information whether the person is affected by COVID-19 or not by taking an image of the lung. Okay, if there is any lesions or any abnormalities present in the lung, means we can identify it is a the person is affected by COVID-19. Like that we can able to classify it. Okay, so by taking an image from the lungs also we can able to classify the person is affected by COVID-19, it is not affected by COVID-19, we can able to classify that patients also. Next, these all comes into the knowledge base. If you have knowledge in all these processing steps only, we can able to get an output. So these are the steps involved in the digital image processing. First step is, which is nothing but image acquisition. Normally when you are acquiring an image, means you are using a camera in mobile phones, correct? So the camera is also one of a sensors only. Okay, it is the first process. The camera is the image is captured by a sensor, which is nothing but a camera, and digitized, because when you are getting an image from that sensor, means it is in analog form. You have to convert it into a digital form by using a digitizer, which is nothing but analog to digital converter. Okay, and digitized if the output of the camera or sensor is not already in digital form. If it is not in digital form, you have to convert it to a digital form by using A to D converter. So the image acquisition stage involves pre-processing such as scaling also. Next steps is image enhancement. So the process of manipulating an image so that the result is more suitable than the original for specific application. Enhancement technique to bring out details that are hidden are simple to highlight certain features of areas of an image. So as I already raised, what are the hidden details present in the images, we can able to given out, or we can able to bring out that hidden details to analyze the images in more form. So image enhancement, which is nothing but to bring out the details that are hidden or simply highlight the regions of interest in an image. Next one is image restoration. So image restoration, what it means, it is going to restore the original image from the affected image. Okay, so improving the appearance of an image, correct? So if an image is affected by noise, means you have to restore that image from that noise. Okay, so it is improve the appearance of an image. So it is tends to be mathematical or probabilistic model. So it is using some of the models, okay, to restore the images. So enhancement on the other hand is based on human subjective preferences, what constitutes a good enhancement result. So enhancement and restorations are same thing only, but enhancement is mainly depends upon the human subjective preferences. Okay, so many humans have different point of view, so based upon that image enhancement is used. Next step is color image processing. The color is used also as the basis for extracting features of interest in an image. Okay, so based upon the color also we can able to extract the features of an image. Why we are extracting the features means we have to identify or access the more information of that particular region. Next one is wavelet. So wavelet are the foundation of representing an images in various degrees of resolution. Okay, so the wavelet is also called as a multi-resolution analysis. Okay, so it is used for image data compression. For data compression also we can use, and for pyramidal representations in which images are subdivided successfully into smaller regions. Okay, using wavelet packets. Okay, when wavelets is mainly used for data compression also, and and division, okay, for segmentation also, which is nothing but, for example, if an image is consist of whole image, okay, take a whole image. First you have to convert, you have to get an affected portion only, okay, which is nothing but third portion. Means first you have to partition that images, okay. From that partition image you are going to again partition it. So you are going to partition until you get the final result, final region of interest, okay. So it is mainly used for data compression also, and also for the segmentation purpose also. So it is called as a multi-resolution analysis. Next one is compression. It deals with techniques for reducing the storage required to save an image or the bandwidth required to transmit it, okay. For saving the images you have to reduce the storage, and also for transmitting you are going to reduce the bandwidth, because bandwidth is one of the important parameter for transmitting the images or any signals from one place to another, okay. So compression is mainly used for storage purpose and also bandwidth, okay. So image compression is familiar to most users of computers in the form of image files extensions, correct, such as JPEG file extensions. JPEG means Joint Photographic Experts Group image compression standard. So some of the image compression standards also there, MPEG, JPEG, like that, PNG format. These are the some of the standard compressions. Then morphological processing. So morphological, which is nothing but the characteristics of that process, okay. It deals with the tools for extracting image components that are useful in the representation and description of shape, okay. So based upon that image's shape, okay, you have to describe that shape also, and you have to represent that shapes, okay, shapes. So shape is mainly important, because based upon the shape you can also able to classify the diseases, okay. So morphological processing is mainly used to describe or represent the shape of that image. Next one is image segmentation. So segmentation, already we know, it partition images, okay, into a constituent prods or projects, okay. The more accurate the segment is, the recognition is to succeed, okay. So if you are doing the segmentation in a more accurate manner, means you can able to get the accurate recognition of that area of interest. Next one is feature extraction. So after segmenting all the parts, okay, from that a segmented part you can able to extract the features, okay. So in almost always follows the output of a segmentation stage, which usually is a raw pixel data. So the feature extraction means, which is nothing but it is a pixel value of that region of interest only, okay. You are going to extract the particular pixels of a whole image, okay, constituting either the pixel value may be either the boundary of a region, okay, or all the points in the region itself, okay. So for example, if you are going to take a whole skull image. In that skull you are going to deduct only a brain, okay, brain shape only. So for that you can able to get only a boundary of the brain or the whole region of the brain, okay. So it is used for the feature extraction, which is nothing but it is correlate the all the pixel values and group into them, okay. So feature extraction consists of two methods, okay. One is feature detection and feature description. Feature detection means finding the features in an image or region or a boundary, okay, just to detect the features. Feature description means it assigns quantitative attributes to the detected features. After detected features you are going to describe it, okay. For example, detect corners in a region and describe those regions by their orientation and location. So both of these descriptors are quantitative attributes. First you have to detect the corners of an image, okay. After that you have to for representing that corners you have to know about the pixel value and the location. So these are called as the feature description. It is going to describe something about that, okay. It is called as a feature description. So feature detection and feature description are main parameter for the feature extraction. So which is nothing but feature extraction is going to extract the pixel value of that region of interest. So feature processing methods are subdivided into three categories. Okay, one is whether it may be a boundary only, we are just getting the features from the boundaries, or whole region, or whole images, whole original images, or regions, or boundaries. So the feature descriptor should be as an insensitive as possible to variation in parameters such as scale, translation, rotation, illumination, and viewpoint. So next one is image pattern classification. This is the last step in the steps involved in digital image processing. Okay, so it is the steps that assign a label to an object based on its feature descriptors. So based on its feature descriptors, you are going to label an image. Okay, for example, you have to classify the vehicle. Okay, vehicle, for example, two wheeler, which is nothing but a bike or bicycle. Okay, and car. Okay, so what is the main features you have to extend? Its number of wheels, correct? So bicycle, it consists of two wheel, but for cars consists of four wheels. So it is the main one, we can able to extract the features. Okay, so based upon this feature, okay, based upon the wheel as a feature, we can able to classify whether it is a car or a bicycle. Okay, so that is called as you are assigning a label. Okay, so for example, if car has a four wheel, correct, it is labeled as a 1, and bicycle is labeled 2. Okay, an unknown image is given. Okay, by using the some of the classification methods, so the unknown image given, which is nothing but a car. Okay, it just detecting. Okay, compare that unknown image features with the car and the bicycle. Okay, if it is car means it shows the label as a 1. If it is a bicycle means it is labeled as a 2. Okay, from that you can able to classify the vehicles. So image pattern classification ranging from classical approaches. Some of the classifications are minimum distance, correlation, and Bayes classifies, to modern classifiers, which is nothing but deep neural network. Okay, so in particular nowadays they are using only a CNN and the, which is nothing but convolutional neural network, so which is a main part for classification in image processing work. Last but not least, which is nothing but knowledge base. So we saw about 9 steps involved in image processing, correct? So this, if you have knowledge only about these 9 steps only, you can able to process the images. Okay, so the knowledge about a problem domain is coded into an image processing system in the form of a knowledge database. So you have to going to process that images in a computer only. Okay, so for that you are going to convert that problem domain into a coded system. Okay, in addition to guiding the operation of each processing module, the knowledge base also controls the interaction between modules. So it doesn't guide the operation of the states, but also it controls the interactions between the modules. Okay, so in all the image processing steps, all the steps are not involved. For some applications, some of the process steps can involved. In some applications, some of the process are not involved. Okay, so the use of double head arrows between the processing modules and knowledge base, as opposed to single head arrows linking the processing module. So based upon the head arrow also, you can able to denote the operations between the modules. So these are the steps involved in digital image processing. Topic is components of an image processing system. So far we have seen about what are the steps involved in digital image processing. Next we are going to see about the components of an image processing system. So this is the diagram of an components of an image system. So as I already said, there will be a problem domain for the creation of many inventions, correct? Okay, so here also first is the problem domain. First we have to analyze the problem domain. Next one is image sensors. So for capturing the images, we are going to use the image sensors. After that, specialized image processing hardware. So after acquiring the images, we have to sum up the hardware for pre-processing steps or converting an analog to digital digital values. So for that you are going to use the specialized image processing hardware. Next one is computer. After the processing steps, you have to display that acquired image in the computer. Okay, so this is the first you acquire the images, then processing, then displaying it using the computers. Okay, for displaying the computer, some of the softwares are required, correct? So for that, image processing software, so some of the softwares also used for processing the images, so which is nothing but image processing software. Next one is for storing the images in the computer, there will be a RAM and ROM are needed, correct? So there will be a mass storage. Okay, so how much MB it have to be saved and how much storage it occupied, like that you have to know the details of that stored image. For that, mass storage is there. Then after that you have to display that image, correct? It is an image display. Okay, after that, whether it may be a soft copy or it may be a hard copy, correct? So you have to take the printout of an image or you have to store it on CD. So these are comes under the hard copy. Okay, so first acquiring the images and stored in the computer and displaying or processing using hardware or softwares, and you have to save it in the form of a soft copy or you have to take a printout like a hard copy. Okay, after that, in some other place, if you are taking an image, okay, you have to transmit it to your friends. Okay, how you have to transmit it? Through the cloud network, correct? There will be a network is in the top list. Okay, so using the cloud network, you are going to transmit the images from one place to the another. So the best example in biomedical field, which is nothing but a telehealth technology, correct? In rural areas, we can able to transmit our various multi parameters, okay, which is nothing but heart rate, pulse rate, respiration rate. Using the cloud network, we can able to transmit those parameters to our physician for analyzing our report, whether we are in normal condition or whether we are in abnormal condition. So based upon the physician reports, we can able to modify those abnormalities, correct? So cloud network is mainly used for transmitting the data from one place to another. The best example is telehealth technology. Okay, these are the components involved in the image processing system. Okay, first one is image sensors. Okay, so sensors we already know it converts one form of energy into an electrical energy, correct? So the two subsystems are required to acquire digital images, correct? The in sensor image sensors, it requires two systems to acquire the digital images, because if you want to display the images means it must be in a digital form. Okay, so the first one is physical sensors, so that responds to the energy radiated by the object we wish to image. Okay, whenever you are taking an image, okay, capture an image means which is nothing but so that object, okay, the light from that object is stored. Okay, so the energy radiated by the object we wish to image. Okay, second one is digitized, so it is a device for converting an analog output of the physical sensing device into a digital form, because the physical output of the physical sensing devices is always in the form of analog only. You have to convert it to an digital form using an digitizer, which is nothing but analog to digital converter. Okay, so for instance, in digital video camera, okay, the sensors, which is nothing but CCD chips, okay, so produce an electrical output proportional to the light intensity. So based upon the light intensity, it can able to produces the electrical output. Okay, so the digitizer convert this. After that, you are using the digitizer to convert that output into a digital data. Whether you can able to use the camera or a digital video camera, which is nothing but a sensor. These tools are act like a sensors. Okay, it converts the light intensity into an electrical output. Using digitizer, you are going to convert that analog input into a digital output. Okay, next one is specialized image processing hardware. Okay, the next step is which is nothing but a hardware, because now we acquired the image. After that, you are going to do some of the hardware processing. Okay, it usually consists of the digitizer plus hardware that performs other primitive operations. Apart from the digitizers, there is some of the primitive operations also performed using the hardware applications. So what are that operation means, such as arithmetic logic unit, okay, which is nothing but multiplication, addition. These are the arithmetic logic units that perform arithmetic and logical operations in parallel on entire images. So logical operation means which is nothing but or, and, not, like that, okay. Arithmetic means addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, like that, okay. These are the operations performed on an entire images. So one better example of AUL is used as an averaging images, okay, as quickly as they are digitized for the purpose of noise reduction. So for noise reduction you are going to averaging the images. So it is one of the example of the ALU, which is nothing but arithmetic logic unit, okay. So this type of hardware systems, okay, which is called as the front end subsystem, and most distinctive characteristics is speed, okay, as we already said. So the images, if we captured image often, okay, we are acquiring the more images means first you have to digitize this, after that you have to average it to reduce the noise, correct. So the main distinctive characteristics of this hardware is speed, because the processing of that function is must be in a faster manner for getting the accurate result and on be in time, okay. So in other words, the unit performs functions that require faster data throughputs that the typical main computer cannot handle, okay. So digitized for noise reduction you have to digitize this, after that you have to average all those images, correct. The data which we are given is should be in a faster manner, okay. So the speed is one of the important parameter in this specialized hardware processing, okay. So one or more GPU, okay, also more common in image processing system that performs intensive matrix operations. For intensive matrix operation you can use one or more graphical processing unit, okay. You can use the GPUs, which is nothing but graphical processing unit. So for matrix operation you are using one or more GPUs. For noise reduction, which is nothing but averaging the images, you are using the ALU unit. So these are the some of the specialized hardware processing unit. Next we are going into a computer. So after all these steps you have to store it in computer, or you are going to use the computer for some other purpose, okay. So the computer in an image processing system is a general purpose computer and can range from a PC, personal computer, to supercomputer. So the performance speed of a supercomputer is very high compared to a PC, okay. So in dedicated applications, which is nothing but in some of the important applications, the computers are used to achieve a required level of performance, because the performance of the computers is mainly important, correct, because all those processing steps are happened in the computer only, okay. In these systems almost any well equipped PC type machine is suitable for offline image processing task, okay. For offline image processing task you are going to use the well equipped PC type machines. So computer is important for processing steps. So far we see about how to image sensors and specialized hardware, okay. Next computer, next we are going into a image processing software, okay. So the software for image processing consists of specialized modules that perform specific tasks. So in each software it consists of many toolboxes, okay, are some of the modules for performing specific tasks, okay. For example, MATLAB is one of the software for image processing steps, okay. In MATLAB there is many of the toolboxes are available. For example, wavelet toolbox, okay, or computer vision toolbox, or image classification toolbox. So there is a feature extraction toolbox. There is a many of the toolboxes are available in a MATLAB for performing a specified task, okay. So a well defined package also include the capability of the user to write code as a minimum utilizes the specialized modules, okay. So why we have that module means we have to reduce the code, okay. So we have to reduce the line of the code. We have that specialized modules or the toolbox, okay. So the most sophisticated software packages allows the integration of those modules and general purpose software commands from at least one computer languages, okay. So many modules we can able to combine many of the modules also. Okay, commercially available image processing softwares are MATLAB. So image processing toolbox, it consists of image processing toolbox, is also common a well equipped image processing system. So in MATLAB there will be a signal processing toolbox, wavelet toolbox, image processing toolbox. So MATLAB is one of the main important software used for processing the images. Okay, in that image processing toolbox is more helpful for that. Next, after the software you have to store. Okay, after capturing image you have to storage is main important parameters. Okay, the mass storage capability is a must in an image processing applications. Why means because if there is any mass storage, okay, if there is more number of images means you can have mass storage. Okay, so an image of size 1024 cross 1024 pixels. So this 1024 cross 1024, which is nothing but a resolution of an image. Okay, it requires 1 megabyte of storage space if that image is not compressed. Okay, if the image is not compressed means, okay, if you can going to acquire an image of resolution 1024 cross 1024. Okay, the storage purpose for storing that images, which is nothing but 1 megabyte. If you are have to store the 100 images of this same resolution means you have to have at least 150 megabyte for storing that images, because according to the pixel values the size of the images may also vary. Correct. So it requires mass storage capability for storing the images. So the digital storage for image processing applications falls into three principal categories. There are three main categories for storing the images. First one is short term storage, online storage, and archival storage. Short term storage is mainly for during processing of that images you are using the short term storage. For fast recall, okay, already you saved it but you have to recall it. Okay, again you have to access it. For that, online storage are available. Archival storage for infrequent access, you saved it but often you are not using it. Okay, for that archival storage is used. Okay, so one method of providing short term storage is, which is nothing but our computer memory. So our computer memory is an example of a short term storage. Okay, another example of short term storage is specialized boards, which is called as a frame buffers that store one or more images and can be accessed rapidly. So frame buffers and the computer memory is also one of the example of the short term storage. Okay, online storage method allows virtually instantaneous image zoom as well as scroll and pan. Okay, when you are having an image you have to scroll it, you have to zoom it, or you have to rotate it like that. Okay, for that method you are going to use an online storage methods, because for frequent access you are using the online storage method. Okay, for online storage method it takes the form of magnetic disk and optical media storage. These are the two important memories. Okay, these are the two important parts used for the online storage. Okay, then the online storage is frequent access to the stored data. Correct. So online storage is frequent access to data and archival storage is infrequent access to the data. Next one is image display. Okay, after storing the images in a computer you have to display it. Okay, so the image display used today are mainly color flat screen monitors like our LED screen. Okay, flat screen monitors and are mainly used for displaying the images. Okay, so the monitors are driven by the output of the image, and graphic display cards are an integral part of the computer system. Okay, so the graphic display card is a main part for displaying the all the items, not only in images, all the movies like and all. Graphic display cards is main important parameter in the computer. Okay, so the monitors are driven by the output of the images, and graphic display card is an integral part of the computer system. Okay, it is necessary to have stereo display, and these are implemented in the form of headgear containing two small displays embedded in the Googles worn by the users. Now our smart eyeglass also available, so for that they are using the stereo displays. So these are the main of the important in the image displays. Next, hard copy devices. Okay, hard copy means which is nothing but you are going to take a printout of that images. Okay, hard copy devices for recording images, correct, including laser printers, film cameras, heat sensitive devices, inkjet units and digital units such as optical and CD-ROM disk. These are some of the hard copy devices available in the image processing components. Okay, the film provides the highest possible resolution, but paper is an obvious medium of choice of written material. So film provides the highest resolution, but paper is most commonly used. Okay, for presentations, images are displayed on a film transparency or in a digital medium if image projection equipment is used. Okay, so the later approach is gaining acceptance as the standard for image representation. So for presenting the images, okay, so the digital medium is mainly used for presenting an images other than the displayed on film transparencies. Okay, so these are some of the hard copy devices used for presenting the images. Next one is networking. As I already said, you have to transmit the data from one place to another. For that you are going to use the networking, correct. So the networking and cloud communications are most default functions in any computer system in use today. Okay, so we already know the network and cloud communications is a default one in all the computer system, correct. In laptop also we have a network, okay, for transmitting the data or for transmitting emails, for sending the emails, also for communicating with one person to another person. For that and all, networking and cloud communication is mainly used in the computer system. Okay, because of the large amount of data inherent in image processing applications, the key consideration in image transmission is bandwidth, correct. So the large amount of data for processing the images, large amount of data are required, correct. So as we already as I already said in the storage itself, for storing the 1024 cross 1024 pixel, it requires an 1 megabyte storage, correct. For this also, for 1 megabyte means there is a large amount of data are incorporated in that, correct. So here also, so the large amount of data inherent in image processing applications. Okay, so for that purpose, first you have to consider the bandwidth. So bandwidth is mainly used for transmitting the data, how much time it have to be transmitted, like how much cable it needed, how much distance, like that it calculate a bandwidth. Okay, in dedicated networks this is typically not a problem, but communication with remote sites via the internet are not always as efficient. So in some of the dedicated networks, bandwidth is not a problem, but communicating with remote sites, which is nothing but rural areas or any villages, via the internet are not always as efficient. If you have internet proper means, you can able to transmit the images as it is with a highest speed also. Okay, if it is in remote site means it is not as a possible, because some of time internet are not active. Okay, fortunately the transmission bandwidth is improving quickly as a result of optical fiber and other broadband technologies. So for transmission bandwidth, you are for improving the transmission bandwidth, you are using the fiber optic cable. Okay, so the optical fibers is one of the important part for transmitting the data, correct, because it can able to transmit the data to the longer distance also by the use of the optical fibers and other broadband technologies. Okay, image data compression continues to play a major role in the transmission of a large amount of image data. Yes, if data is more, okay, if the storage of the data is more means it requires a larger time to transmit the data, correct. For that, first if you are compress that image data, okay, for example 1 megabyte for storing an image, for sending the image also 1 megabyte is required, correct. If you are compressing that data, okay, If you're compressing the image data means the storage of that image also reduced and the content of the image also compressed, correct? So after the compression, if you are transmitting means the transmission speed is also high compared to the previous one. Okay, so the image data compression also plays a major role in the transmission of large amount of image data with a higher speed. Okay, so the networking is mainly important in all the areas, correct? So example, telehealth technology, as I already said. So without a network you can't able to transmit the data. So these are the components present in the image processing system. So in this video we already know what is basics. Okay, basics of an images. It is a 2D dimension like that we saw, and what are the steps involved in digital image processing, and what are the components involved in the image processing systems. Thank you.